Hey everybody, welcome back. So as some of you may know, I have a history of working for franchise dealerships, specifically more on the GM side, uh, Chevy, GMC, Cadillac, Buick, that sort of brand. But here's some secrets from the dealer service department that you may want to know. Some are just funny stories, some are things you should probably look out for. So, number one red flag, if you walk into a service department and there's only one person at the little desk to greet you for the service department, it's probably going to be a bad time. Because that means the other three, usually there's about 4 to 5 service advisors in the service department. If there's only one there, chances are one's off, the other two, gone. Bathrooms, messing around somewhere. You get the idea. And that will kind of clue you into how your service is going to go. Because if there's only one service advisor, he's doing everything, answering the phones, talking to the customers, taking in new customers, getting them sent back there for oil changes, trying to update you on your oil change, whatever you have going on. He's doing everything. So you may as well be ready to wait for a while. Also, when you take your car in for oil change, I strongly recommend always checking to make sure the oil cap is on there, because lube techs forget that a lot. And then you'll be driving your car with no oil in it because it'll all go out the top. And let me tell you, they usually don't fire people all that often unless something serious happens. For example, in our service department, I can tell you of one lube tech in particular. He left lug nuts loose on 3 different vehicles. Luckily, the driver noticed before they even left our lot that their wheel was coming off. Not completely off, or else he actually would have been fired, but just, loose enough to partially be off. So they didn't fire him. After those 3 events, same lube tech was taking one of the trucks around for an oil change, sideswiped a crate with an engine in it for a different vehicle. He took this crate down the whole side of a brand new Silverado. Still had a job. The other thing, always check for your lug nut key before you leave the premises, because they tend to keep those too. And they can figure out who was the tech working on your vehicle and go get that lug nut key back. Best to get to it right then and there when you're leaving the property. Because I can't tell you how many times we've had customers got flat tires and then they call us when they can't find their lug nut key. And I don't know what it is about Corvette C8 owners in particular, but they always have to make the whole experience difficult. I'd say maybe 90% of them. But it's only with the C8s. I don't understand that one. Like, for example, we had a guy with a brand new C8 Z06. He was calling, wanting to schedule an oil change, transmission service, and he said he wanted a tire patched. We do not patch tires, we replace tires, especially on a Corvette Z06, high performance vehicle. Don't really want tires patched on those. So I told the customer, hey, we don't patch tires, we replace them. It's pretty much our policy. It is what it is. This dude proceeded to cuss me out about it and then called back like 15 minutes later to apologize. Weird. One of the biggest issues with service departments, management. They're either overworked or a lot of them don't know what they're doing. We literally had a service director that complained that everybody only comes to him with problems. Dude, that's your job. Literally to direct and fix problems. Managers that are pushovers are literally the worst to work for, because not only do they not back you up with customers, they give the customer everything they want, even if the customer is blatantly wrong and doesn't deserve anything. The issue with managers that are overworked, they only take in snippets of what's going on and then they act on those snippets. For example, they'll get a piece of the story, not even facts. then come to you, take you away from your job, to confront you about this issue that they have no idea about. It's a weird, like, micromanagement without actually knowing what's going on. Kind of strange. And in most dealerships, as a customer, if you're in the waiting room, you can hear your service advisors, everybody in the service department talking, and you kind of get the idea of what's going on. The scary thing, if you're working in the service department, you see some sketchy crap. And then that realization of you're driving on the road with these people that are doing this sketchy crap. Like, we literally had a dude drive like 10 miles with the ball joint broken on his Silverado. The wheel was barely attached. I mean, it was literally at least a 45-degree angle. It literally melted the wheel hub to the spindle itself. Welded it together. That's crazy. And if a customer doesn't want to get the work done, they can just leave with it. Weird. And yes, that's geese. Welcome to the lake. 5th gen Dodge Ram. Any interest? So, if you've been following me for a little while, you know about modern Dodges and old Chevys. 90s Chevys, early 2000s. It's kind of about it for me. The modern Chevys, GM vehicles, I wouldn't even touch one of those things. As a personal vehicle, I would not do it. Being in the service department, I have seen too many of those with massive, serious issues. For example, we were looking at a Yukon AT4 for my wife. Except the Yukons and Tahoes, Suburbans, their wiper motors fail, and they're on back order. Can't get them right now. Kind of crazy for windshield wipers. So down here in the south, summertime, it rains. So you're just supposed to drive around with no windshield wipers. That's, again, really weird. I've been seeing the new Silverados come in, fuel pump control module failures. Those are on back order. All kinds of crap. We had a brand new 2024 Silverado, had like 400 miles on it. The engine computer failed. That's on back order. So the dude bought a brand new truck, and it was in the shop for about 3 to 4 weeks, waiting on that new engine computer to come in. The fuel control modules, those fail. Sometimes the trucks run, a lot of times they get towed in and are bricked until the part comes in. Can't move them, can't start them. They aren't getting fuel. Fun times. So then, ironically, I ended up meeting SRT Hall, if you know who he is. We've been having a lot of the new Corvettes, massive engine failure. I'm talking holes in blocks. And I mean cars that have, 7 to 20,000 miles on them. Holes in the engines on C8 Corvettes. Massive transmission issues. Pretty much you name it. AFM, DOD issues, cam, valve lifter failure. You get the idea. Just me personally, I wouldn't touch a new vehicle from GM. But then again, I've worked there, so I know all the juicy details. I wouldn't do it. I could go on and on with crazy stories about the service department. So let me know if you want to hear more. So that's all for today's video. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow along if you want to see more and what's coming next.